Well, a huge day in the Championship calendar. Well, we'll take a little bit of a separate look at Burnley with a fantastic win 2-0 against Southampton, which, wow, 1-0 there. And guess what happened? Marcus Edwards scored. Now, we've mentioned this several times on the channel. Marcus Edwards will switch these 0-0s to 1-0s. We mentioned it literally 2 days ago on the channel. This will start to happen because of his quality. Debut goal. Keep an eye on that one. He can definitely be the difference in this Championship campaign. The reason I mentioned that, it's an FA Cup game, but they've still gone to Southampton. They've kept a clean sheet again, and they've scored a goal through Marcus Edwards, of which he was the decisive man. So keep an eye on that one. It's a big, really, really big and successful day for Burnley, in my opinion, with regards to that. Leeds United, on the other hand, not good enough. 10 rotations for Leeds United today. However, is it going to be better for Leeds being out of the cup? Potentially, with the squad that they've got, is there now potential to have an injury-free campaign? 15 games left, top of the pile. I still think Leeds are in a bit of a decent position. Millwall look fantastic today, though. Strong, regimented, structured framework, very, very solid, and a real threat going forward as well. Pressy in the midfield and Denor in particular, and Mitchell were the standouts for me. Excellent in that midfield, and Leeds' midfield really struggled to stick with them. But let's pivot as well to the big games, the big Championship games today. Sunderland 2, Watford 2 in the early kickoff. I always hesitate when it comes to Watford because I think their team is full of athleticism. I think it's full of physicality, pace, and dynamism. And I think in any Championship side, if you've got that, you are a danger at any sort of level, home or away. I know they've been going through a sticky point at this moment in time, but Watford have the ability on their day to beat anyone. A penalty, which I think was a penalty for Watford. The loser goal was a stunner and just shows the amount of technical efficiency they have in their side. I think there was big chances for Sunderland in this game, though. Huge chances of which they should have scored and maybe taken the game away from Watford as well. On top of that, what we did see from Sunderland is a midfield of Samed and Rig. Not sure that works. I think Job's athleticism and physicality was missed in that midfield, coming up against Kiemba, coming up against Watford's midfield and the presence that they bring there, really. And I thought Sunderland throughout the game struggled to keep tabs on it. They struggled to keep tabs on it. What I will say as well is Job being in there gives them that midfield drive, getting them up the pitch. And could Watford deal with that Sunderland side with the quality it's got in it with someone like Job in there? I think that's definitely a conversation. But the general picture right now, everybody, if we just pull up the league table, is, I've got Sunderland going up. I'm sure you guys have seen that on the video the other day, but they are making it hard for themselves right now. Is it a point gained? That's the conversation right now. Sunderland fans, you let me know in the comment section below. Is it a point gained? Sirkin getting right back into it, which is a positive stance, obviously, for Sunderland, because that would have been a dramatic loss for them at the Stadium of Light in a game of which you're sort of looking at and thinking that's a must win, really, when it comes to Watford. But I do look at it and I think to myself, that 59 point obviously reads much better, doesn't it, than 58, which it was on at one point. But they've got to really claw back that gap now. They've got to claw back that gap. And yeah, Sunderland have got to go on a bit of a run now for me. There can't be any more sort of these draw, win, draw, win, draw. It's very, very inconsistent. And this is what we're talking about, because you've even seen today with Sheffield United, which we'll come on to in just a second, even when they don't play well, they will invariably win the game. So, yeah, massive for Sunderland. But, Leeds playing Watford away next, probably one to keep an eye on in terms of maybe Leeds struggling down there after Watford's really good performance today at the Stadium of Light. But I think the big thing is, with Sunderland, you kind of see the reliance a little bit on Job here in that midfield in particular, one to keep an eye on. But Samed and Rig, I'm not 100% sure that's going to be one for the future. So hopefully you're going to see Job straight back in there. But yeah, the general picture is they're on 59 points and Sunderland need a little bit of a run. These win. When you're fourth in the division, you can't keep, and you're trying to hunt down the top two. It can't be win, draw, win, draw, win. when the opponents above you are doing well and a little bit more consistent. So keep an eye on that one. Sheffield United, staggering, really. I had a quick look at this game, and well done to Sheffield United, I have to say, because it shows the character of the side. It shows how they're able to come back and really fight against the odds, because they were against it for this period of time. Portsmouth missing some massive chances and not great away from home normally, Portsmouth. But just having a quick look at these statistics, and they've doubled and more Sheffield United's expected goals. 16 shots at Bramall Lane, 5 on target, 4 big chances, and they've only scored 1. 3 big chances missed. It's a damning look for Portsmouth, and they'll look back at the end of the season, especially when we just have a quick look at Portsmouth now, when we just look at where they are, 20th in the away table as well, guys. In the away table, they're in the bottom 3. They haven't got a good record away from home. 7 points on their travels. And I think in this game in particular, when we're just looking at Sheffield United, I think there was a big problem here. Obviously, we saw Job being out of that lineup when it came to Sunderland, but I think the big problem here for me in this game was these two. Watching the game, these two aren't going to work. They're not going to work together, in my humble opinion. I think you're going to need a City Peck in here to drive Sheffield United forward. I don't think these two will work. They're too similar. They're too on the toes of the centre-back, and that becomes a 4 way too easily. There needs to be a yin and a yang here, and I think that has to be City Peck. If you're not going to put Hamer in there, or at least Hamer in that double pivot, I think you have to have City Peck driving forward, and Chowdhury has to come out. Chowdhury, I think, could work in away games, and maybe Sousa and Chowdhury could work in away games when you're trying to shut up shop. In a game of which you're trying to win and you're on the front foot and you're at home, I'm not 100% sure you can keep with this. It's just too negative, and I think they saw that in that first half, and Portsmouth were really unlucky. It has to be said, they were so unlucky in that game. But this is the difference with Sheffield United. They're getting the job done. And albeit it's not been a massive consistency for Sheffield United, they are getting the job done. You know, we know with Sheffield United, in that game, I knew Portsmouth was the better team whilst watching the game, but I just knew Sheffield United would have a chance. Raksaki got a goal, which is going to be huge for his confidence. He's been in and out when it comes to United, and now he's got that one. Sheffield United have got a real big run coming up, you know, real big run. Middlesbrough, Luton, Leeds United. They can put statement wins down there. Statement wins. And if they do that, not only could Sheffield United finish in the top 2, they could win the league. That's still a possibility. They've accrued as many points as Leeds United. But it has to be said right now, I think when you watch Leeds on a general stance, I think Leeds do look better than Sheffield United. I think Sunderland are the better team, but Sheffield United are a bit of a machine, and I think they've got enough quality when you look forward. And Raksaki getting a goal today, but normally Callum O'Hare, Gus Harmer, you know, Tyrese Campbell, Ryan Bruce are still at this level. I mean, you can have conversations about the Premier League, but still at this level, you know, players of a really high ability that can take games away from the opposition. And a moment of class here from Raksaki has taken the game away from the opposition. Really impressive from them to overcome that. I don't know if you're a Sheffield United fan, if you're happy with that, because it's not really been convincing for me for Sheffield United for the past 2 months. So just something needs to change there. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Sheffield United fans, Sunderland fans, are you a little bit worried about that top 2 now? Obviously, that's 5 points off Sheffield United with a very similar goal difference, but that's 5 points off. Does there need to be a little bit more consistency there? And Burnley fans, how happy are you with that? Let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in a bit. Cheers.